Our top story this morning, of course, is Karnataka, and now Siddaramaiah is finally set to take oath as the Chief Minister, and DK Shivakumar is expected to take oath as the Deputy Chief Minister. But the challenge for the Congress is not over yet, because cabinet formation is now the next big challenge for the Congress. In fact, just for that, we will be seeing both DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah in Delhi today. They will be holding crucial discussions with the party high command on cabinet formation. Remember, the party's challenge is to accommodate various factions and also get that caste arithmetic right, something that the Congress has been trying to get since the beginning of this election. Now remember, the swearing-in ceremony is to take place tomorrow, and the Congress has also sent invitations to quote-unquote like-minded parties, that bid for opposition unity there, and top opposition leaders are also expected to attend the swearing-in ceremony. Congress President Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge as well as the Gandhis are also expected to attend the swearing-in ceremony. Now this power sharing agreement has been reached after hectic negotiations with the party high command here in Delhi for the past 3 days. Both Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar holding extensive discussions with Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge as well as the party high command, and it was finally decided that Mr. Siddaramaiah will take oath as the next Chief Minister of Karnataka, while Mr. DK Shivakumar will be his deputy. Now, sources have told NDTV that a power-sharing formula is being worked out, with Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar sharing the 5-year term, but this power-sharing agreement hinges on the party's performance in the Lok Sabha polls. Now, this is what sources have told NDTV, that if the party performs well in Lok Sabha polls, they would go ahead with this power-sharing agreement, with DK Shivakumar taking being the Chief Minister for the next half of the term. So, of course, both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar have to deliver Karnataka for the Congress, even in the Lok Sabha polls.
सर, बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो, बहुत बड़ी जीत आपने हासिल की है। क्रेडिट किसको देते?
कांग्रेस पार्टी के कैडर्स को और हमारे लीडर्स को क्रेडिट जाना चाहिए, और किसको जाना चाहिए।
लेकिन इस बार सभी संप्रदाय, सभी धर्म के लोगों ने बहुत खुल करके वोटिंग की है, तो सबकी उम्मीदें भी लगी हुई हैं।
हाँ जी, एक्सपेक्टेशन तो बहुत ज़्यादा है हमारी सरकार से, और हम डिलीवर करेंगे, क्योंकि युवा हो या किसान हो या कार्मिक हो, और जैसे आपने बोला कि हर धर्म के जो लोग हैं, इस सरकार को बहुमत दिया है, उन सरकार को आशीर्वाद दिया है, एंड 100% हम डिलीवर करेंगे।
सर, शेड्यूल कास्ट, मुस्लिम, वोकलिगा और लिंगायत, ये किस प्रोग्राम से, किस तरह से एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे आए और कांग्रेस को इतनी बड़ी जीत दिलवाई उन्होंने?
नहीं, देखिए, इसको आप किसी धर्म का ये लेप मत लगाइए, क्योंकि हर मज़हब के लोग हमको सपोर्ट किए, क्योंकि जब बात गरीबी की आती है तो मज़हब पूछ के नहीं आती है, जब मुश्किलें आती हैं तो आपका जात पात पूछ के नहीं आता है। तो अभी हमारे लोग मुश्किल में हैं, ये आर्थिक असमानत रहने दीजिए, या अपने अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट समस्या लीजिए, करप्शन लीजिए, ये हर मज़हब को छूता है।
Now, in the past 5 days, we saw intense political drama unfold in the national capital, with both top Karnataka leaders, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah, holding extensive meetings with the Congress High Command. And it was apparently at the dawn of, at midnight, post-midnight in fact, that it was finally decided that Mr. Siddaramaiah will be Chief Minister, and Mr. DK Shivakumar agreed to that decision. Our reporters have been on the ground tracking all the meetings and getting you the latest. Take a look at this special report.
After the massive mandate in Karnataka, the Congress leadership had its task cut out to decide on who would be the Chief Minister. Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar both had an equal claim for the top post, but only one could be appointed. The Congress President appointed 3 observers to decide and get the views of the MLAs, 138 of them, to ensure that it was a free and fair election in terms of who had the numbers, including a secret ballot. That report was brought to New Delhi, where the 3 observers met with Mr. Kharge and other senior leaders to finalize a report and give him various options. Mr. Kharge then discussed this with Mr. K.C. Venugopal and Randeep Singh Surjewala to find a way forward. In the meantime, Mr. DK Shivakumar gave the Congress High Command certain hiccups. Finally, he decided to come to New Delhi.
Rahul Gandhi met Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge along with General Secretary K.C. Venugopal at around 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Sources say it is in this particular meeting Rahul Gandhi referred to the practice of the Congress party to select the Chief Minister based on MLA support without taking any leader's name. After meeting Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge also met both DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah at around 5:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Congress President's office maintained that both those meetings were mere courtesy visits, but sources add that Kharge also sought the views of both these leaders on the CM issue. After meeting both these leaders, Kharge also met several state and central leaders for wider consultations throughout this Tuesday night. On Wednesday morning at around 11:30 a.m., Siddaramaiah met Rahul Gandhi. Also at around 12:30 p.m., DK Shivakumar also met former Congress President Rahul Gandhi. Sources add that in these two meetings, Rahul Gandhi told both the leaders to abide by the decision of the party president and to work in the interest of the party. After meeting Rahul Gandhi at around 2 p.m., DK Shivakumar also met Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, and sources add it is in this meeting for the first time DK Shivakumar was informed about the decision of the party over the Chief Minister issue. Sources add that Kharge told DK Shivakumar that Siddaramaiah will be the Chief Minister because he enjoyed majority MLA support, and sources add that DK Shivakumar was not ready to accept the decision, and also because Mallikarjun Kharge was also struggling to find a solution here, and that's when former Congress President, current UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi entered the scene. Sources add at around 7 p.m. Mallikarjun Kharge had a conversation with Sonia Gandhi over phone call, and that's where party took a firm decision to select Siddaramaiah as the next Chief Minister because he enjoyed majority MLA support. But after taking a final decision also, party had several meetings in order to ensure that DK Shivakumar gets on board. And that's where Mallikarjun Kharge along with K.C. Venugopal and Randeep Surjewala had almost 2-hour meeting at Kharge's residence to discuss ways and options to bring DK Shivakumar on board with this decision.
It was in this 2-hour-long meeting for the first time the party high command put forward an offer, a formula in front of DK Shivakumar. He was offered the Deputy Chief Minister's post, plum portfolios for MLAs supporting him, and he could continue as the PCC chief. DK Shivakumar left this meeting without confirming or rejecting the formula till late evening. At 10 p.m. then, K.C. Venugopal went and met Siddaramaiah and conveyed the party high command's decision to him. Later, in a meeting with DK Shivakumar at 11 p.m., party's decision was conveyed to DK Shivakumar, and K.C. Venugopal convinced him to come on board.
The focus now shifts to Karnataka and the Lok Sabha elections, where both Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar have been given the task and responsibility to ensure that the Congress gets a resounding victory in the Lok Sabha elections. The key will be implementing the minimum guarantee program and ensuring that they work as a cohesive unit.
So the inside story of the Congress's Karnataka formula only on NDTV. But why is it a win-win situation for both Siddaramaiah, considered to be the Congress's troubleshooter, and DK Shivakumar, an organization man? Veera Raghav decodes this for you.
In many ways, the scales were tilted firmly in favor of Siddaramaiah in this race for chief ministership, and there are some crucial reasons why. One, the IT and ED disproportionate cases that DK Shivakumar is battling. Had he been chief minister and the BJP aggressively pursued those cases, it could have resulted in a situation where the chief minister was under attack, and that wasn't great for the Congress party's optics. Two, Siddaramaiah is the tallest mass leader amongst the elected legislatures. His appeal cuts across the state and he had the support of MLAs. It would have been difficult to contain Siddaramaiah had he been denied the top job. Three, DK Shivakumar is from the OBC Vokaliga caste, and projecting him could have resulted in alienating other caste groups, the non-Vokaliga caste groups. While Siddaramaiah has his animosity with JDS and the Vokaliga caste groups, a powerful accommodation for DK Shivakumar, as has been worked out, could negate that backlash from those caste groups. The converse may not have been true. However, the hard bargain that DK Shivakumar drove has given him quite a bit of a deal. One, The party has moved over the one post, one person formula and allowed him to retain both the PCC presidentship as well as deputy chief ministership. Being the only deputy chief minister, he will have his control over the cabinet as well as over the party. The power balance with plum portfolios could be maintained in the cabinet as well, and in 2024 and post 2024, if a change needs to be effected, DK Shivakumar as PCC president and with control in the cabinet could be in a position to force or push for that change. So in a sense, it seems to be a win-win for both, the best possible compromise formula that could have been arrived at given the circumstances between two strong, aggressive contenders for the top job.
So we will keep a close watch on all the political developments in Karnataka. But the other big headline this morning is that in the Aryan Khan bribery case, now big revelations against former NCB officer Sameer Wankhede in the vigilance report. Now NDTV has accessed the vigilance copy filed by the Narcotics Control Bureau. The report says that the names of Aryan Khan and Arbaz Merchant, his friend, were added at the last moment, and some other suspects, their names were dropped from the original information note. This after the CBI too alleged actor Shah Rukh Khan's family was threatened by Sameer Wankhede that his son Aryan Khan would be framed in the narcotics case unless he paid rupees 25 crores. So, of course, the allegation was that Sameer Wankhede had, there were extortion allegations against Sameer Wankhede. But let's go across to Sohit, who has this big exclusive. So, Sohit, there are startling revelations really in this, in this report submitted by the NCB, also saying that he made several trips abroad and he had property that was really when at odds with his meager income.
Absolutely. Vedant, if you look at this entire issue, we know that now the CBI has registered an FIR against Sameer Wankhede based on this vigilance report. And now NDTV has accessed the vigilance report, and there are very shocking revelations. First of all, if we talk about the Aryan Khan case, the name of Aryan Khan and Arbaz Merchant were added at the last moment, and some other suspects' names were dropped from the original information note. This is what the report says. It also says that during the raid, despite recovering rolling paper from the suspect, he was given a clean check. There were a series of lapses, one after other, in the custody of accused Aryan Khan. Sameer Wankhede had compromised in an intentional manner and given an opportunity to KP Gosavi to misconduct the violation against accused Aryan Khan. Now, this is an important point because Gosavi is the very same person whose selfie went viral with Aryan Khan. If we speak about the personal allegations or what are the findings of the vigilance report against Sameer Wankhede, it is very shocking. The report says that in the span of 5 years from 2017 to 2021, Wankhede made 6 private foreign visits with family in countries like UK, Ireland, Portugal, South Africa and Maldives, and he stayed around 55 days in foreign. But the amount that he declared was only 8.75 lakhs. The report says that this amount can barely cover the cost of air travel. Apart from that, the inquiry committee has also found that Sameer Wankhede and his family stayed in Taj in July 2021 on credit basis, and the amount was the total amount of his family stay over there was 7.5 lakhs. The amount was paid only after the vigilance team started inquiring the entire matter. Sameer Wankhede purchased expensive gold watches worth 22 lakhs for 17 lakh 40,000, that too on credit. Now, the amount was also misreported and there was no intimation given regarding this amount. And there are several such things that have been mentioned in this entire report. In fact, when Sameer Wankhede wanted to sell some watches, he sold it directly for 7,40,000. And the question arises, when he wants to sell something, he gets the money right when he wants to sell it. But when he is buying something, he is getting it on credit. And why is someone selling a watch which is worth 22 lakhs for 17 lakhs, that too on credit? Another important thing is that as per the ITR of from 1st of April 2018 to 31st of March 2020, the total amount that the ITR shows of Sameer Wankhede and his wife Kranti Redkar is 45,61,450. But only if we look at the Maldives trip, the expensive Rolex which they purchased, the amount is 29,30,000. So yes, there are questions being raised on the amount spent and also what the ITR says and how much Samir Wankhede is spending. So a lot of shocking revelations if we talk about this entire vigilance report. Now the CBI has filed an FIR, although he has got some relief from the Delhi High Court, but there are big questions for which Samir Wankhede will now have to be present in front of the CBI and also answer all these shocking revelations that have come forward from the vigilance report.
Right, so serious questions after that vigilance report and of course all the major lapses as far as this particular case is concerned. Moving now to more political news, Madhya Pradesh is the next big state to go to polls and the Congress's focus in Madhya Pradesh is already visible because Kamal Nath former Chief Minister, he has been touring across the state to kick off the Congress's poll campaign with around 7 months to go for the elections. And what is very interesting is that there is very evident the Congress's welfare push because the former Chief Minister has promised that the party will provide 100 units of free electricity every month if it returns to power. Now remember, in Karnataka, the Congress had promised 5 guarantees and there was that big welfare push there as well. But now in Madhya Pradesh, eyeing a comeback, the Congress has promised 100 units of free electricity. So 230 constituencies in the central state will go to the polls later this year. Welcome back. Now, the Prime Minister flagged India's 17th Vande Bharat Express yesterday and significantly said that the target is that by the next month, all states should be connected by the Vande Bharat Express. But why was yesterday special? Well, Odisha got its first Vande Bharat Express and our colleague Saurabh Gupta was on board the Vande Bharat. Take a look at a special report.
ये वंदे भारत ट्रेन भारत ने अपने बलबूते ही बनाई है। एक समय था जब कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती थी या नई सुविधा बनती थी तो वो दिल्ली या कुछ बड़े शहरों तक ही सीमित रह जाती थी। लेकिन आज का भारत इस पुरानी सोच को पीछे छोड़कर आगे बढ़ रहा है।
The latest Vande Bharat Express in India, the 17th. Modern, made in India, semi-high-speed train and Odisha's first. Pulling out of Puri, the Puri-Howrah Vande Bharat Express. And soon, racing through Odisha and West Bengal at 130 kilometers per hour. Impressed, Odisha's Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik asked for more Vande Bharat trains for Odisha.
Introduction of Vande Bharat train is one step closer towards our aspiration of bullet trains in India.
The Railway Minister said the train compares very well with trains abroad.
If you compare Vande Bharat train with all the world's best trains, parameter by parameter, Vande Bharat stands apart. So the whole world is today looking at India emerging as a technology exporter, not just technology importer but technology exporter in railways.
Not only is the Vande Bharat Express a semi-high speed train, but also it's a comfortable, smooth ride even at speeds of 130. And with track upgradation on in several places, the speeds of the train are likely to increase, but that will not compromise on comfort or safety. The Vande Bharat Express is truly a manifestation of India's success when it comes to make in India. With camera person GD Shankar on board the Puri-Howrah Vande Bharat Express, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Welcome back. Now, the big international story India is closely watching is the G7 summit in Japan's Hiroshima. And the big headline coming out of that is that the UK and US are set to announce fresh sanctions against Russia, even as UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and US President Joe Biden have reached Hiroshima for the crucial G7 meet. and this amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. Now remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be reaching Hiroshima later today. He's expected to depart at around 9 a.m. And why is this meeting crucial? Now Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has said time and again that he is looking at a synergy between G7 and G20 processes for achieving the goals of the global south, which is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his visit is also crucial as far as this G7 summit in Japan is concerned. And also what is significant there is that Quad leaders are expected to meet on the sidelines of the G7 meet as well. Now meanwhile, Rishi Sunak is the first British Prime Minister to visit Hiroshima since the 1945 atomic bomb devastation. Now, Sunak met Prime Minister Kishida for dinner on Thursday night after signing a defence pact agreeing to consult each other on major military decisions. Moving to other news now, a crucial judgment in the Supreme Court yesterday. The Supreme Court upheld the law allowing Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu. Now remember, there have been controversies surrounding this tradition of Jallikattu with animal welfare organizations objecting to it. What is the judgment and what is its implications? Take a look at this report.
Jallikattu, the traditional sport of taming the bull, can continue in Tamil Nadu. Dismissing a bunch of pleas, a 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court upheld an ordinance by the Tamil Nadu government amending the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, justifying the sport criticized by some for animal cruelty as part of the state's cultural heritage. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin called this a victory for the state's legal struggle.
It is an ancient, traditional, cultural, heroic game of the Tamil Nadu.
As many as 500 bull tamers and spectators have over decades been gored to death and maimed during the annual event that often draws big crowds. Critics have argued that the ancient sport of valor had turned into a nightmare for the bulls, with various forms of cruelty, including violence, intoxication, pulling them by tail, squeezing lemon in their eyes, and poking them with sharp rods to turn them ferocious. Judges took into account fresh regulations put in place to check animal cruelty, monitored by Animal Welfare Board, and said penal statutes should be followed. The top court had banned the sport in 2014.
There is no question of cruelty. See, I can say that the most pampered animals in Tamil Nadu is the Jallikattu bulls.
Animal lovers are disappointed. Peter India, one of the petitioners that's exploring legal options, has said the order has thrown the country to dark ages.
This has only taken us way back. It has put us in dark ages.
The Supreme Court would hope its orders would put an end to the culture versus cruelty debate around Jallikattu. While animal rights activists are exploring legal avenues, the fact is no political party establishment has dared to speak out against what's being seen as public sentiment. With Arvind Gunashekhar in Delhi and Edwin in Chennai, Sam Daniel, Find NDTV.
Moving now to business news. From July 1, a 20% tax will be levied at source on credit card spends on international merchants. This according to a government notification. In fact, international payments made through credit cards will be covered under the liberalized remittance scheme. And this means that the payments will be counted within the $250,000 foreign spending limit for resident Indians. Who will be impacted the most? What will be the impact for you? My colleague Priyanshi Sharma decodes.
With this new tax, essentially, you will have to pay a 20% tax on all international credit card transactions from the 1st of July. Now, this is a tax collected at source. So, it means that when you swipe a credit card in a foreign country, a 20% tax will be deducted. Earlier, international credit card transactions were not taxed, but now they will be taxed at source as they now come under the RBI's liberalized remittance scheme or the LRS. Naturally, this will make foreign trips and shopping via credit cards more expensive. So for example, if you're making a 2 lakh rupee purchase, you will have to pay a tax of 40,000 rupees. The government says that the main impact will only be on investment in assets such as real estate, bonds and stock payments outside India by high net worth people using their credit cards for these transactions, and it will also impact tour and travel packages, making them more expensive. And because these transactions come under LRS now, this also means that any remittance over $250,000 will need an approval from the Reserve Bank of India. Several travel companies and travelers have criticized this move, saying that it will make foreign travel even more expensive, while some welcomed it. India's second largest online travel agency, Ease My Trip, in a statement to NDTV, said that this will make travelers opt for domestic travel instead of international trips. Now, you must have several questions even now. The government has answered FAQs of frequently asked questions. Number one, will this be an added burden and can the tax credit be claimed? The government has said that this is not a final tax and a taxpayer can claim credit for this tax payment in the regular income tax return or ITR filing. Experts also say that this tax won't be lost money for those who already pay an income tax, as they can adjust this tax for their tax liability for that year. But those who don't pay an income tax, they won't be able to make a claim and they will be impacted by this. Now, the second question is, will this make foreign education and medical treatments more expensive? The government says there will be no change in international education and medical expenses. They already have a 5% TCS or tax collected at source above transactions over 7 lakh rupees, and that doesn't change. So essentially, students won't have to pay this tax on their tuition fee payments, but they will have to pay this for, let's say, shopping and food bills that they pay via credit cards while living abroad. Now, another important question: why did the government really raise this tax? The Finance Ministry said that transactions above $250,000 are being made via credit cards without any approval, and they have to have checks on these high-value transactions. It said that debit card transactions already come under these norms, and the move is aimed to remove that differential treatment between debit and credit cards. It also said that disproportionately high payments are being made when compared to disclosed incomes of several individuals, which indicated tax evasion and money laundering. So these are the major reasons for the move. It's essentially imposed to keep a check on high value foreign payments to prevent tax evasion, but it will make foreign travel more expensive for many.
The government, in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India, has amended rules under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, bringing in international credit card spends outside India under the liberalized remittance scheme. So while this notification brings transactions through credit cards outside India under the ambit of RBI's remittance scheme with immediate effect, we have an expert joining us to break down the details and really simplify this for you and me. Thank you, Mr. Ravi Sutanjani, for joining us. And of course, a lot of curious travelers have been reaching out to us. They have been reaching out to us with a number of questions. And the number one question really is, what will be the rate of tax collected at source?
Thanks for having me, Sakshi. Pleasure to be at NDTV. So, it's going to be 20% from July 1 onwards, and currently Forex cards, bank, debit card, all of these comes under the ambit of LRS. With the recent development, now credit card transactions too will be part of LRS, right? So as per the current notification, the rates would be 5% till June 30th. And after that, it would be 20% on any transaction that you make international, while traveling internationally, yeah.
All right. Of course, a lot of viewers also asking, so will they have to now pay more for their travel or hotel bookings, their meals, also while shopping abroad? Does that get costlier now?
So one thing we'll have to specifically understand that there is a difference between tax and TCS, right? So TCS is generally charged by the seller for a service or your bank when you make a transaction, and they pay the liability on your behalf to the government. You can claim that amount while filing your return. You can adjust against your advanced tax. So it's not precisely a tax, but it's more of a compliance measure to make sure that more and more people file their taxes. So obviously your cost would become significantly higher, because let's take an example, right? So the current package for a overseas travel may cost like 5 lakh rupees. With 20% TCS, you need to pay additional 1 lakh rupees on top of it. And that additional 1 lakh rupees, you can only claim it back while filing your income tax returns as per your tax liability, Sakshi.
Right. Also, many asking, what if they're traveling for work? So how does this impact them as, in terms of their costs, their expenses, if their company sends them, and, what gets costlier then?
So I think we also need to wait for certain fine prints from the government's end. There are two use case scenario basically. So one is where people travel internationally for work and they use their personal credit card or maybe their bank account and they get it reimbursed later from their company, right? But in a couple of cases, they also use corporate credit card. So we need to wait for the fine prints, but for sure, one thing is clear that if you are traveling abroad and you are using your personal credit card, debit card, Forex card, it will fall under the LRS purview and the applicable tax TCS will be deducted from the bank or credit card company itself, Sakshi.
Right, and a very important question coming in from, of course, a lot of concerned parents and of, for paying for education expenses for their children abroad. So, do the costs get expensive there? And of course, does medical expenditure also get impacted?
So a very important thing to understand for the purpose of education and also, medical treatment, there is no change in the proposal whatsoever. So even if you get educational loan, the TCS rate, if it's 0.5%, it's going to be the same and there is no proposal to change it in the current financial year. Same goes for medical treatment, right? So they are not at all impacted. However, if you use your credit card internationally for these purposes, you need to be slightly cautious whether what is the category of merchant. So medical and education is not impacted at all currently, but beyond that, if there is any transaction related to travel, your hotel, when you even go for a coffee and when you swipe your credit card or maybe Forex card, it will be liable for 20% TCS from July 1 onwards.
Right. So that's a very important clarification there that medical and education really do not get impacted as of now. Of course, shopping and meals out do. Also, many asking us, what if, they're signing on to some subscriptions, shopping, somebody sitting in India shopping online abroad. How does all of that get impacted?
So while I was reading the circular and we were also speaking to a couple of folks in the finance and business community, I think this is one area where we need to wait for more clarity from the finance ministry or government's end. So, say I am making a transaction in the international currency, but I am not traveling to that particular country, right? I may be not be traveling to US, but I am making the transaction in USD and not INR. Will I be paying 20% TCS? I think before commenting on that, I think we should wait for the further clarity. I think by EOD or maybe by tomorrow, we'll be in better position to comment on that.
Right. Further clarity, of course, awaited on a move such as this. Many, of course, also concerned and saying, should they now switch to using more cash? How will, will that help them?
So I think a lot of concerns for, if you check the number for last year, Indians spent over like $12 billion on overseas travel, right? And I'm talking about not every one of them were under the purview of LRS. Now talking about alternates, I think a lot of people would definitely want to move to other alternates. Say they would want to buy Forex or USD in India for their foreign travel, but it also comes with certain, limit that how much maximum amount you can keep as USD for your next international travel. So it's around, I think, $3,000. Obviously, if there are different purposes, the amount gets increased. So you need to check with the bank and read the circulars on that. But I think even if you buy foreign currency in India, it is already under the purview of LRS. So this doesn't make really significant change. I think there is a lot of noise around, right? So one thing we have to understand is that bank account, debit card, Forex were already under the purview of LRS. But now credit cards are also included so that more such high value transactions and people fall under the tax net, Sakshi.
Right. Thank you for that clarification. Does it then apply to travel cards? Is also there are many who are, of course, planning their holidays asking now.
Two ways to look at it. So if I go to my favorite bank, I think I just checked with my bank and they said that 20% TCS would be applied to Forex card as well. So say if I want to take $10,000 if I want to load it on my Forex card, so I go to my bank, give them travel details, passport and everything, and they'll load 10,000 USD. But that will fall under the purview of LRS as per the confirmation that I have received from bank. But people are always advisable to check with your respective bank for Forex card and what kind of policies are there with them.
Right. And how does one really claim this on their tax later? That's another very key question being asked.
So as I said earlier, right, TCS is the tax collected at source. So your bank collects the tax TCS on behalf of you, and you can claim it when you file your ITR at the end of the financial year.